Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this special call meeting to order. First order of business is going to have a moment of silence. Also remember Ms. Wanda Horton at Oxnard Elementary School. If everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have presentation by for the superintendent search by Mr. Sam Thorpe.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board. First of all, I just want to take a moment to thank all of you for trusting me, trusting NCSBA with your superintendent search. We're really excited to partner with you and help you find a new superintendent. Toward that end, along those lines, in anticipation of meeting with you tonight, I shared with your board attorney a number of documents that I also shared a version of with you before I presented to you earlier this month, starting with a timeline. And I need to get your feedback on and approval of each of these documents in order to get your search started. I'm not sure if you voted to approve the contract at the last meeting. Perhaps your board attorney could weigh in on that.
They approved, yes.
Okay, so that's being executed. We don't need to bother with any voting on that.
Nope.
Right, Mr. Schwartz? Okay. So the next document that I would direct your attention to is on the left-hand side of the folder. It's the timeline. Really what I need you to approve on the timeline is the application deadline. I've allowed for approximately 5 weeks to advertise the vacancy. That's what the vast majority of boards do. But I'm happy to push that application deadline out or move it up as your board sees fit.
Mr. Trey.
Mr. Schwartz, does he need a motion on this?
I would, Sam, I would recommend that, given that we're at the start of school and it's break time for some, and then it's going to be everybody going crazy getting school started, that
Yes,
we push that application deadline out a little bit. I think you'll get a deeper pool if we do that.
That's up to the board. Yes, sir. Is that the board's pleasure to move the date out a little bit?
I say the end of September, and then we eventually
That's
adopt to
perfectly
December.
fine. If that's
Yeah, end of September would be fine. Sometimes you start with when you anticipate employment to begin, and the interim superintendent is employed up until February 1st,
right.
if necessary. So we're not. I don't think the board's that anxious to necessarily push this process to get employment beginning on November 19.
Would September 28th, that's a Monday, would that be acceptable to the board?
That's fine. Can I ask, John?
Yeah, Mr. Trey.
Let me ask the question, if I might.
Yes, sir.
The advertisement, how far out is this going? Is this going certain states? Is this going nationwide, or how far? Is that our choice, or how far do y'all do the advertising?
We advertise it very widely. It is advertised nationwide.
Nationwide?
What I do need you to weigh in on is, and we'll get to that, is whether or
That's
not you want to
later.
do any paid advertising. But in terms of our free advertising, that's advertised everywhere.
Okay. I would be fine with extending it to September.
September 28th, is that an acceptable time frame?
May as well go to the 30th, just end of the month.
We can. I give you the applications the day after the application deadline, and I like to do that at the beginning of a week as opposed to towards the end. But I'm happy to do it on the 30th. That's up to y'all.
So,
On October the 1st. Yes, sir.
so the 28th, the last day of the month. Yeah, so I'm saying you're gonna do it last day or that Monday. Terry?
So if we change the deadline, then it's going to essentially push everything else, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But it'll still be within that time frame, and those are target dates.
Does that mean we're still anticipating maybe to have someone in place by the 1st of December?
No, sir.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we have ample time for advertising.
Well, it sounds like your interim's going to be here through February, worst case scenario.
Right.
So I think you'll have plenty of time.
Okay.
So September 30th seems to be the consensus.
Yeah, I think you've got consensus.
Okay. Next is the vacancy announcement. That's the first document on the right-hand side of the folder, which includes some general information about your school system and your community, explains to applicants who to contact with any questions about the search process, explains to them not to contact the board directly. Not sure if you've had a chance to look at it. But that's obviously the vacancy that we'll be posting along with the application platform so that people can read a little bit about the district prior to researching it on their own. Yes, sir?
I think we need to add something in here about our large Hispanic population as well.
You would like to add that in about the community or about
So
the school
it says,
system? Which section would you like to include that?
It's about the community. On the third line, it talks about the tribe, and then it says on the next line, the county's population alongside significant black and white communities. If we add all this language, we need to add something about our Hispanic population.
I can do that.
Because we have if you look at our demographics, we have a huge Hispanic population.
Yes, sir. So a large and growing Hispanic population, and I'll get the figures on that as well.
That'd be awesome.
But that's what you'd like to add to that paragraph?
Absolutely, unless there's some objection from anyone.
Ms. Emanuel seems to have a question.
Mr.
Dr. Emanuel?
Excuse me, I was daydreaming. I want to go back to the timeline just one moment, okay?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
I want to make sure that we do not, some of the other companies threw that in sort of sideways. We do not have any online interviews. We need in-person interviews.
Unless a board insists, all of the interviews that I facilitate are in person. I always encourage the candidates as well as boards to do in-person interviews.
Okay.
But I'm happy to do them virtually if your board desires. But it sounds like you are pretty sure.
My preference, I would like in-person interviews. If they can't do in-person, then they're not interested.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
My preference now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for letting me know that.
Anyone else? You can go ahead and say.
Okay, so aside from the change, I'll certainly make that change that you suggested, Mr. Locklear. Next, behind the vacancy announcement are advertising options. There are two charts. The first one has all of the free. Yes, sir.
Can we go back to one thing on the announcement? Do you want to make put anything in here about the new CTEC opening?
No, because we may have to push everything back.
But in terms of the advertisement, I think we might want, I'm not talking about the opening ceremony or anything, but you might want to put something in here about what a unique facility that is. It's going to be a one-of-a-kind facility.
Career and technical education, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
I can add a line about the CTEC Center, the new CTEC Center, in the about the school system. Thank you for that suggestion. Next is the advertising, the free places listed. We'll obviously advertise at the paid advertising is entirely up to you to decide whether or not you want to spend any money on advertising, and if so, where. Highlighted in red is the American Association of School Administrators. The reason it's highlighted in red is because we ask all of our applicants who fill out the application where they find the vacancy, and the majority, more than half of the applicants indicate that they find it on AASA. That's not me trying to twist your arm and get you to spend money advertising there. It's just information. Many candidates do find it there.
And for what it's worth, in my experience, I would recommend that you do the American Association of School Administrators and the Education Week top school jobs.
You had a question, Mr. Curry?
I'd also recommend you do the 60 days
With
for
AASA.
the AASA.
So it seems to be 60 days with AASA and 30 days with Ed Week. Unless there are any objections, that's what I'm going to make a note of doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
Yes, sir.
with the updated timeline, how long will the actual, what period will the advertisement be? Will it be 60 days?
So it's only offered for 30 days with Ed Week Top Jobs, but we have a way of trying to do it that's strategic, that falls neatly within the window, the application window. 30 days won't fall perfectly, obviously, within your application
Would
window.
that be the only option you have with these two platforms? Either it's 30, 60, 90, or?
They offer a much larger advertising window that's not workable
Okay.
given the time frame that
Okay.
you're in.
Okay.
But if we need to extend it, I can reach out to your board and see whether or not you want to spend money extending it. Yes, sir. The next document behind the list of advertising options is the application. As I said to you in my presentation, most boards keep the application as is and save any of their district-specific or personal, individual pointed questions for interviews, but I'm happy to change. It's at the bottom of page 3, moving into page 5, where the short and long form essay questions are.
Go ahead, Mr. Leach. It's on.
Let's go back to the advertisement. So are we in agreement that we're gonna do the AA school administrators for 60 days and education top weeks for 30 days? Are we in agreement or not? I mean, yeah, let's leave it at that. Yeah, that's good. Let's just leave it. I just want to make sure nobody said anything. All right, that's enough. Let's leave it at that.
I appreciate you clarifying that for me, though. Thank you, Mr. Leach. Any requested changes to the application or questions about the application? Or if you'd like to keep it as is, that's fine as well. Entirely up to you. Beginning at the bottom of the 3rd page, it says county-specific questions, short answer. And after that, you'll see a series of short answer questions. And then just after that, toward the bottom of the 4th page, you'll see county-specific questions, essays. And there are 6 long-form essay questions. Again, most boards keep them as is, but I'm happy to add to the questions, subtract from them, or revise them as your board desires.
Mr. Curry?
I hadn't looked through this, so if everybody's in agreement with this, I'm fine with it. But I haven't read these questions or anything, so, but if everybody's looked at it, good with it, I'm fine.
Okay. You're also welcome to take a moment to read them if you'd like. Yes, ma'am.
You stated, I think in your initial presentation, please tell me if I'm wrong,
It's okay.
that you would have a contact person. Would that be our lawyer? When you are, maybe it was another person, that when you're dealing with the school system, who will you contact?
For the search? A contact
Well,
person?
whatever you're doing, who will you contact here at the school system? I know you won't call all of us, I know that, but who would be your contact person?
I usually communicate with the board chair and the board attorney
Okay.
as a initial contact, but of course communicate with the full board throughout the search. But I'm happy to communicate with whoever you'd like me.
No, I was just asking that, so
I
that
understand.
everybody wouldn't be in the dark all the time.
Yes, ma'am. So if there are no further thoughts on the application, next up are the surveys, the community and staff surveys, which mirror one another, so that we can compare the results and present those to you and to the public at the conclusion of the survey window. Most boards keep the survey as is, but we're happy to change that if you'd like.
Trey?
Mr. Thorpe, how do you choose these community survey? How do you choose the people throughout the community who you're going to survey?
So the survey is made available to the entire community.
Okay.
Anyone in the community
Anyone. Gotcha.
is welcome to and is actually encouraged
Okay.
to fill out the survey. And we try to work with your communications folks to get as many responses
Good.
as
Thank you, sir.
possible. Yes, sir.
It's an online survey.
Yes, sir. Anonymous, can be filled out privately. There's an open-ended section at the end where folks can discuss in detail, and some will discuss in great detail, issues that are really important to them that they want you to take into consideration as you move into the application review and interview stages of your search process. That's what boards find most helpful, in my experience.
Mr. Henry?
How much time do we normally give the community and staff to take the survey?
I usually have it mirror really closely your application window. So what I'll do is make the survey window extend out. I want your board, to have reviewed the survey results, and I ideally also like to share the survey results with the community and staff before you begin looking at the applications and making decisions about your applicant pool. That way you can factor all of the feedback you've gotten from the community and staff prior to making any decisions about your applicant pool. You can weigh that and let it inform your decisions as a board. Yes, ma'am?
Oh,
Dr.
Mr.
Emmanuel?
Chair,
Yeah.
I think Miss Jessica should be involved in this survey thing, because she has all kind of ups on community people by her doing all of our PR. Right, Miss Jessica? Oh, I like that. I mean, I don't know how you've been doing it before, but she has ins and outs with everyone. She's our PR person.
Yes, I usually rely on the Miss Jessicas of the world to help me get it in front of as many people as possible. I know we can't make people fill out the survey, but we can at least get it in front of them and try to get them to respond.
Mr. Craig?
So Mr. Thorpe, this survey is put out by your company, and is it put on our website, or how do you do that? Okay.
Yes, sir. Ideally, I would work with Miss Jessica
Okay.
to make sure that it's on your website and that it's pushed out through whatever mediums you use to survey the community as well as the staff. I assume you already have some internal mechanisms in
Right.
place for staff surveys, but community surveys, I'm sure your PR person knows where, in terms of news outlets, social media, your school system website, et cetera. And I'll, of course, be communicating with your public information officer. We monitor the surveys, and so we like to push out reminders, communicate with your staff to make sure that it's still it's being publicized as much as possible.
Right. Miss Jessica, that the part I seen from computer services, this new thing that they were doing about the communications within the county electronically. They were doing some changing with our Google or something. They emailed it we got the last day or so from is it Dr. Guzman, the lady that works down there? Would that be internal? So that wouldn't affect nothing like this. Okay, that's what I make sure. Okay, thank you.
So is it okay to move forward with the surveys as they are? Would that be acceptable to you? Okay. Well, that is all I need from you. I will have your application live. If not tonight, first thing tomorrow morning, we will have your surveys live at the latest by the end of the day tomorrow. And I will communicate with your full board once everything's available. And I will send your board the survey links as well, the community survey link, so that you can share it on any listservs or social media platforms that you participate in, if you'd like to. Unless there are any additional questions.
Mr. Craig?
So start with us backing all this up as far as applications. Whenever we meet again or at some point, you'll give us a revised, backing everything here up on this timeline.
So you will get 2 emails from me. One will be a finalized, I will make the adjustments to the timeline.
Okay.
As your board has directed me tonight. I will make the adjustments to the vacancy announcement as your board has directed me. And I will share those finalized documents with your board, your full board, via email, and let you know that the application is live,
Okay.
right? Then I will send a follow-up email that will let Miss Jessica and your PR staff know that the community and staff surveys are ready and ready to be shared. I will then follow up with an email with your board, letting you know that here's the community survey link that you're welcome to share with whatever mediums you would share a survey with, constituents or with a faith community or your neighborhood community, et cetera.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else?
Couple of things. One is the board approved the selection of the School Board Association, but I don't think you explicitly approved the contract.
That's what I was wondering.
So let's have a motion, if we can, to approve the consulting agreement and get that approved.
Motion to approve the contract as presented.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the contract by Mr. Trey, second by Ms. Christie. All in favor by saying yes? Approved. All in favor or not?
It's 9-0.
Thank you, Mr. Schwartz. I appreciate that.
And one other thing is, excuse me, I don't know where you got the dates on the, or if these are just projected dates for the meeting on applications to choose the first round interview.
They're just projected. I didn't pull it from anyone's calendar, and I know that those will change.
Do you want to take a look at potential dates in October now while you're here with the board?
That is up to the board to decide if they'd like to firm those dates up. I'm happy to do that.
The regular board meeting is on the 13th of October.
15th,
I don't know if you'd want to do a special board meeting
on the 15th.
to deal with that, to deal with this. What about the 20th, the following Tuesday?
Mr. Craig?
So I get, this is part of my question a while ago that you're talking about, it's got meetings for final interviews, October 12th. We're backing everything up now. Are we still keeping these dates here the same? Or are they going to move? They're going to move.
They're going to move.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about doing.
Yeah. That's what I was looking at. Okay. So you're looking at moving the final interviews now?
So no, we're looking at the first date we're looking
interviews.
at is,
Okay.
the first meeting date we're looking at is listed here as September 14. We're talking about moving that now to October 20 potentially,
Okay.
which is a week after the regular board meeting in October. And one thing I want to emphasize that that I'm sure Sam would agree with is it's extremely important for these meetings that all the board members be present.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
And that's why I want to try and get them on the calendar now instead of waiting. So September 20 is one thing
October 20.
I'm sorry, October 20, Tuesday, October 20 is what we're looking at for the meeting that is on this sheet as September 14th.
Okay.
Sort of middle of the way down.
Mm-hmm.
on the applications to choose the first round interviewees. That's an extremely important meeting.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It is very- It's very important.
Are we okay on October 20?
I'll make it 10:20. Mr. Schwartz, would you like to figure out interview time?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So that's October 20 instead of September 14.
Yes, sir.
All right, and then the next meeting is for initial interviews to select finalists. That's the dates that are listed on this sheet were September 28 to 30. And those are usually about 2 weeks after you select the interviewees.
Yes, sir.
So that you can deal with logistics and get them in and give them a heads up. That would get us to Election Day, November 3rd.
Right.
What would November 4, 5, and 6 look like? That's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Those are for first round interviews.
Any conflicts?
Usually.
The 6th, we can't do? Yes,
What
ma'am.
about have, our regular board meeting? That'd be, yeah.
That's the 10th, but you don't want to tie it up with your regular board
No.
meeting.
Won't take too long.
These are going to be interviews you're going to be doing probably with at least 6 people.
At least.
Are 4, 5, and 6 okay or not?
It sounds like the 6th will not work from Fields,
6 is no good.
but she
for you?
could do 4 and 5, I think you said?
Okay,
Is
Mr.
that-
Craig.
Let me just say, folks, when you get to this part here, like Mr. Schwartz says, I think like we might have gave him 30 minutes before, 45 minutes, something like that. And we did them on Saturdays. We did them on Saturday. You started at 9 o'clock in the morning and you had people come in. They had their 30, 45 minutes. Somebody else was waiting in another room. And so it's something that's all you can do at that time. So, I'm not sure when it would be, but I know when we went through this before, we spent Saturday and it took a while to get through because some of the people actually, it was a difficult thing getting here other than if it was a Saturday. So I'm just saying that could be a possibility.
Sam, did you leave this 3 days in there as a 3-day window within which you could get this done, or 3 days over which you're going to actually use 3 days?
It depends on the board. I have done as many as 7, even 8 interviews in a day. I will do as many as you want. That is a lot.
Mhm.
But the short answer is we can do it in a day, but it's a long day.
Can we, if the 6th doesn't work, do the 4th and 5th work? Can we make that work?
Let me ask y'all this, would y'all rather be here later in the evening time or come in that Saturday and be out of here probably about 2 o'clock or something like that? Because you got to remember now, if we do it during the week, school's going on, and you got to take in that consideration.
We would do the
Mr.
interviews off-site. It would not interfere with your
No,
school
I'm talking about,
calendar.
we got school that week going on.
Right, of course, yes, sir.
That's correct. Oh, I mean, hit it again.
This is just information. If you come in Saturday, when we did them before, if you know at Comtech, there's an office that's like back in the corner, the Comtech office that runs it. That's where we did interviews. And it got us away from campus, anywhere on campus. And now they were done on Saturday. And we basically did them all in Saturday. It might have took 2 Saturdays. I can't remember. It's been so long. But we did them all on Saturday, and the main idea was to do it and not be here. Especially now, if you're doing them during the week, I don't see how you can do them here in this facility. You're gonna have to, in my opinion, go somewhere off campus.
You almost always could do these offsite.
Offsite, be away from here.
Yes, sir.
You want to preserve confidentiality for the candidates
Yeah,
too.
right.
Correct.
That's the reason that was a good location, going there and doing it on the
So
Saturday too.
before we get to where we're going to do it, let's focus on the dates again if we can.
4th and 5th.
The 4th and 5th work for everybody here?
And if you block off the entire day, I feel confident we can get all the interviews done. They may be long days depending on how many you want to interview, but I think we can get it done in 2 days.
You gotta remember now, some of y'all work.
Exactly. And I certainly want to be sensitive to that.
I mean, I'm good with either way, but
Yeah.
I also want to be considered for those who have jobs.
Whenever. Do it on Saturday.
Probably starting late afternoon.
You be going that Saturday?
Probably start around 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the 4th and 5th.
We can. I've done them in the evening. I've started at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night. That's fine
On
too.
Friday, I'm gonna be at a football game.
Yep.
No, I'm saying I am. You laugh, I'm serious.
We do have 2 board members absent. I mean, this is part of the reason I struggle to nail down dates and why I try to just get the application deadline. But in as much as we can firm them up, I think it's a good thing.
Okay, let's go for October 4 and 5 at 4 p.m. Does that work?
November 4 and 5.
I'm
I
sorry,
believe.
November. Yeah.
Mr. Schwartz. Yes, sir.
What day is that on?
Yeah, I can.
Knowing that it will not be the full day, Ms. Fields.
It's a Wednesday and
It
Thursday?
will not be the full day. Well, and if you can't do it, you can't do it. Then we gotta find it. Well, then we're just gonna have to find different days to do it, and that's okay. I don't want you to feel bad. You gotta go to work. Okay. 4? Okay. That's good to know. Yes, sir. Those would be the first interviews.
So we got consensus on November 4 and 5 beginning at 4 p.m.
Thank you. Mr. Schwartz, do you want to find a date for second round interviews, or do you
And
feel
then
like that's
for
sufficient?
final interviews,
Yes, ma'am.
Hit your mic. Hit your button on your mic.
October 20th. Did we do a time for that one?
no, we didn't. I was assuming that'd be just a regular evening meeting, 6 p.m. Does that
After
work?
work.
Okay.
So October 20th at 6 p.m., November 4 and 5 at 4 p.m.
And October is for initial, okay.
October's selecting who you want to interview.
Select-
November
select.
4 and 5 are the actual interviews with the folks you've selected. And then what we're about to do is find dates to once you've narrowed your list of first round interviews to finalists. We need to set aside at least a day to do that. I think a day would be sufficient, or an evening would be sufficient to interview your finalists. And we usually count about 2 weeks out from that as well. That would put us in the middle, I think, of November.
And we need,
Boards pick somewhere between 2 to 4 in general. But yes, 3 is a common number.
what would, what would November 12 look like? That's only 1 week after. It's a Thursday night.
The only hitch is that we do a lot of due diligence. Once the boards narrow their list of interviewees to finalists, we would get it done as soon as possible, but depending on how many you select and how much due diligence is involved, but we'll get it to you as soon as possible.
How
We can-
about Thursday, November 19? Yeah, I think the School Board Association Convention is the 15th through the 18th, I believe.
I'm trying to look up that date now. I don't have it off the top of my head. I've got it as being the 8th through the 11th.
Okay.
of November. So I think we're fine. I think the 19th is just fine.
Does Thursday, November 19th work? That's going to be a critical time. That's for
Final round
the
interviews.
final interviews.
I don't think that's gonna work for me because I'll be in Raleigh, I think that. No days. I'm trying to find out for sure.
What's that?
I'm trying to find out. That's when must.
Okay. Would the 18th be better? That Wednesday?
Yeah, 18th be better.
What about Wednesday, the 18th? 17th, I can't do it.
Okay.
No, that's for the interviews of the finalists.
Well, I'm sorry.
That's replacing the one that's listed on your timeline as October 12th.
I had it on the 22nd. Text me about it.
Correct. Yes, sir.
What's that?
It's the 22nd, so I'll be good. Yeah.
You would narrow it down at those interviews. At the conclusion of the interviews, you would narrow it down. Yes, sir. It's okay.
All right, so we're back, looks like we're back to November 19th, that Thursday. Beginning at
Works.
beginning at 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
And you'd have anywhere from three to five finalists probably.
That's true. Yes, sir.
So we're on November 19th at 4 p.m. We have consensus on that?
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of nodding heads.
I am too. So I'll make these adjustments to the timeline, obviously, and finalize it and share it with you as well. So not just the application deadline, but the meeting to select interviewees, first round interviews, and final round interviews. Any other questions?
Erica? Is Erica here?
4 o'clock that day?
Yep. So we've got, just to summarize, we've got now application deadline will be September 30th.
Yes, sir.
The meeting on applications to choose first round interviewees will be October 20 at 6 p.m.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that is a Tuesday. The meeting for the initial interviews and to select finalists and final round questions will be November 4 and 5 at 4 p.m.
Yes, sir.
And that's a Wednesday and Thursday. And then the meetings for final interviews and to decide on terms of an offer will be November 19. That's a Thursday at 4 p.m. And somebody needs to communicate that to Crystal and Melissa.
And I'll certainly share the finalized timeline with them. But I would alert them, as your fellow board members, please alert them to these dates that have been firmed up. I'll make sure to mention it in my email as well.
And then that would set you up to make an announcement on the new superintendent at the board meeting on December 8th.
Ideally.
With employment to begin to be determined.
Right. But a nice cushion with a February closing for your interim.
Okay, Ms. Schwartz, help me with this. With the October 20th, that Tuesday, the November 4th and 5th, and the November 19th, we need to find locations away from here to meet.
Yeah,
All of those.
but I don't think we need to deal with that at the board,
No.
at this meeting.
Not this,
Yeah.
but all three of those needs a location away
Yes.
from here.
Those will all be offsite.
Okay. Well,
The October 20th one does not need to be offsite.
That was the only one I
Correct.
questioned.
Yeah.
That
one
could
does.
very well be
Yeah.
here, and that's
That could be
perfectly
here.
fine.
But the
we do that
last
all the
two
time.
definitely needs to be offsite.
November 4 and 5 and November 19 would all need to be offsite.
Man,
Get me straight. At what point do we decide as a board the qualifications we want in a superintendent that would go in the advertisement or that we would be looking for when we're narrowing down these applicants? At what point do we as a board decide that? Now, I understand the dates and the deadlines. I got all that. But somehow I'm not clear in my mind when we're going to sit down and say, okay, this is what we're looking for.
What you've got in the announcement, who should apply,
Mhm.
and then the experience and background and the other qualifications that you're looking for
Right,
in the candidate. That's all in this announcement.
right.
So you just approve that tonight, you're ready to go, unless you want to tweak this or go over it in more detail.
Although what you may be saying is there are always some subjective and
That's
objective
right.
considerations that come up once you've gotten the applications.
Mm.
And figuring that out as a board is something we
Right.
usually do as we get into the application review and that discussion phase.
Right.
What sorts of things you're going to weigh and how much weight you're going to give them individually and collectively as a board.
I know, and you can correct me, the lawyer and you, at one point in time, a superintendent did not have to have any education background, could be in business. I don't know if that's still going on or not. Also, it was mentioned, do they have to have a doctorate in leadership education? I don't know.
They
So-
do not, no ma'am.
Okay, so those are things that I think at some point in time we have to discuss, and the candidate may come in and knock it out of the ballpark, not have any of these things. So I guess what I was trying to say, maybe as we go along, those are things that have come up and we'll make a decision. The candidate might be that qualified, that good, and have a history of bringing results that we change our minds. So I guess it's a discussion that's ongoing.
It is an ongoing discussion. However, your vacancy announcement makes very clear that they need to be eligible to serve either with a superintendent's license, which would require a doctoral degree, or under the alternative guidelines, which would not require an alternative degree. But that is for your board to decide. What I've found is that boards sometimes, once they get the applicant, sometimes they're changing their mind a little bit, not in a bad way, but as they see the applicants, interview the applicants, compare them to other applicants, they give weight to certain things more than others.
Yeah.
Like, for example, educational background, whether or not a candidate has a superintendent's license. So I think you've sufficiently covered with the vacancy announcement what you want the applicants to have before they apply. In terms of the discussion of what you're going to weigh and how much weight you're going to give
That's
it, that'll be more of a discussion that we have in October when we discuss the application.
Okay,
materials.
that's what I was talking about. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
hit your button again, Mr.
That was my thought process too, Dr. Manuel, is it typical in my experience with searches going all the way from, at every level, we typically, as a committee, in this case, a board, would, before we start interviewing individuals, collaborate and work together and develop a scoring matrix where we list how much weight are we going to give each one of these categories. And to sort of, that'll help us really narrow down that process. And is that something that we would do at the meeting in October?
Yes, sir. So what I start with is a leadership profile that is based on the characteristics and types of experience identified by your community and staff via the surveys as being most important to them. Then I invite your board to give feedback to add to that profile, and then we can convert that leadership profile into a rating chart. Whether or not board members use that chart, and if so, how they use it individually, I'm talking about, is entirely up to you to decide. But we can create that for you and work with you to refine what sorts of things are most important to you. And there will be time to do that before you get the applications, so that if you want to, or both of you want to, or all of you want to, you can use that rating chart, both in reviewing the applications as well as interviewing and evaluating the applicants. Does that answer your?
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you for asking, Mr. Locklear. If that's all, I'll work on finalizing these documents and sharing them with you and getting your application going. Thank you again for working with us. We really appreciate it.
Trey had one question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just follow up with what Dr. Locklear and Mr. Manuel was saying. You know, I'm looking here with the licensure part, and like now, if you got a valid superintendent's license, and this just throwing this out, you don't have to have a doctorate degree. Am I
You do
right?
not. Correct.
You can have the valid license. So used to applications would sometimes say doctorate required or doctorate preferred or something like that. So now, do you put that on the application, or how do we deal with that?
What we put is that you have to be eligible to serve. Forgive me. You do not have have to have a
Right,
doctoral
right,
degree. You
right.
could have an education specialist degree, I think is what the
Right.
LIC N001, the State Board of Education policy says.
Right.
But you do have to have some sort of graduate schooling
Right.
in
And so
order
I'm sorry, if we don't put in there that it's required, and then it's gonna be up to us when we look at candidates, okay? Am I looking for somebody with a doctorate or without it, or does it matter? As long as they got the valid license, which you're gonna be taking care of that with your,
all of the candidates will be eligible to serve.
serve.
If they are not, I will alert
Take
you
them
to
out.
that
Okay.
fact.
okay? All right.
Anyone else? Sam will get you the signed contract.
Thank you. And I'll make sure my executive director signs it and we return you a fully
Thanks.
executed agreement.
Do
One
you,
last question.
do you conduct a background check before the initial interviews?
We conduct a social media and internet search, and we pull test score data, but we do not do a background check for a number of different reasons. But mainly, we wait to do any sort of more intensive background checking until they're being seriously considered as a finalist. It's sort of respecting a candidate and their privacy and how much they're competing for the job versus how seriously they're being considered for the job. It's sort of a sliding scale in terms of how much due diligence we do. So I'm happy to approach candidates about doing a background check, but before an initial interview, you know, most candidates would probably be hesitant to allow me to do that.
I understand. So it's maybe when you get toward the finalist stage is
Yes,
when
sir.
you conduct the more. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sam.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Brad's got it.
All right, Mr. Bradley. Oh, excuse me. Okay,
All right, I move that the Board of Education enter into closed session for the following purpose: to consider confidential personnel matters as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and A6 and 11.5C-319, and to consult with the Board of Education's attorney to preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3, and to consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and 11.5C-402 and 28 U.S. Code 1232G, and pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1, to consider closed session minutes that are confidential pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.10E.
got a motion by Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Trey. All in favor, saying aye. Opposed? In closed session.
No.
Got a motion by Mr. Trey Britt to come out closed second by Mr. Henry. All in favor, saying aye. Those opposed? Personnel, the motion for personnel. Got a motion to approve personnel as been presented by Mr. Trey, second by Mr. Leach. All in favor by saying aye. All opposed? Closed session minutes for June 19th and the 26th. Need a motion?
9, 16, and 25.
I'm sorry, 9, 16, 20, and 25. Got a motion by Mr. Trey Britt, second by Mr. Henry.
Excuse me, the motion should be to approve and keep them confidential. Okay, thanks.
Got a motion by Mr. Trey Britt, second by Mr. Henry. All in favor by saying aye. All opposed? Anything else?
Open session minutes. C.
Oh, I'm sorry. Approval on open session minutes from June the 19th, 16th, and 25th. You know. Got a motion by Mr. Henry, second by Mr. Trey. All in favor saying aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
Okay, adjourn.
Anybody else? We stand adjourned.